Oh, make sure you put it on your Let me put it on Instagram, Hulu, and on my phone. Let's see. Shh, can't. All right, all right, all right. Let me see. All right, peace to the family. Peace to the family. We are live. I know it's been a few weeks. It's been a few weeks since we've been with y'all. Mayat Temple of Elevation. I hope y'all ain't think we was gone nowhere. We just had to take a few weeks, and a couple things were going on. I think last weekend was I think the weekend before was Mother's Day, right? Mother's Day / my birthday. So you know what I mean. So we took that weekend off, and you know, time to reflect with our moms and different things of that nature. But you know, we here. I'm outside today, out in the element. I said I was gonna go ahead and set up outside, and it's feeling good out here right now. I don't know how hot it's supposed to get today, but you know, yeah, but we up in here, and you know how the Africans feel. You know, my spirit is strong, definitely strong.
Strong.
Yeah. Let's get it in. What's up with you, good brother? How you feeling?
All is well. I'm happy to be here, continuing my existence on this third dimensional plane of fun and games, of illusionary fun and games. But yeah, man, happy to be here. Yeah, we had some family business we had to handle the last couple of weekends. So, good to be back on track, staying black and powerful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lot been going on since we've been away for the last 2 weeks. Whole lot been going on.
Yeah, a lot of fun and games, a lot of shenanigans.
A lot of shenanigans. You know, a lot of people renting space in our head. You know, again, I would say often a lot of times that the media is like the Wizard of Oz. You know, whatever they say go. They say, hey, look, we want the color to be pink today. You
Yep,
know,
the
and
color is pink.
the color is pink on social media. That's what it is. You know, and they control us just like that. You know, whatever story they want to make hot, they make hot. Whatever person they want to make hot, they make hot because they control the masses, the minds of the masses of the people because they control the media. And he who controls the media controls the minds and the masses of the people. So, you know, that's where we at. That's where we at right now. And whatever they want to put out in front of us, you know, whenever they want to use misdirection, they just use misdirection on us at any given time, you know. So yeah, man. So we up in here today, man. You know, I'm happy, man. It's a beautiful day so far. I don't know if you've been outside today. You've been outside. Oh, peace. Sister Kenda is in the building. All right. How you feeling? How you
Sunshine.
feeling, dear sister?
I'm feeling wonderful. It's sunny out, and God is good and always showing its grace every day.
Good. Yeah, it is a beautiful day. Definitely a beautiful day out. And yeah, let's push forward. What we got on the agenda today, brother Simbi? How you want to start? How you want to kick this off? Because you know, um, one of the things we want to do with the temple talk is we want to talk about different issues that go on, but we also want to talk about those issues from a more spiritual perspective, a more elevated perspective than just on a gossip level. So we want to talk about things that the way that you can use what's going on in the media to help to elevate you as a stop elevate you as a human being or elevate you or people around you. So that's what we want to do with the temple of my eye. Even though we may have some differences or whatever, it's always being used. Hi, so good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, good morning, superstar.
Uh, Come here.
Good morning.
Say good morning. Come on. Say good morning.
Hey, good morning, young
Good
prince.
morning. Mecca, I want your hair, Mecca.
Nah.
Nah, she frowned
I'm
when I said,
sorry. I
nah.
was joking. I'm
Yeah, mine is
sorry.
mine and yours is yours.
I got
They
my
can't.
own hair. I like it.
My dress.
They can't see. Look, let me see. You want to see? You gotta step back. She try to let y'all see her dress. She got on.
It's probably pretty. Okay.
I got I'm a robot.
just robot.
Got your robot.
Okay.
Wait, guys.
All right, guys. So we gotta move forward. But go ahead. You want to tell them you can spell your name.
It's Jabari.
Oh man.
All right. That's good. That's
Oh
good.
man.
That's good.
Tell her how old you are
Ready.
now.
I'm Dre.
1, 2, 3.
You tree? 1, 2, tree.
All right, guys. So I gotta go ahead. We gotta push through with this show, okay? So y'all can't tell. Okay.
This is
All
my
right.
dress.
Thank you, LaShawn. Oh.
We're going to the grass.
All right. Hey, make sure y'all get it looking tight. Don't miss no spots. Make sure your dad trim it up and everything.
Okay.
Okay.
You helping, right? Tell them you helping.
You helping?
Yeah.
He sound like a
All right.
question, didn't it?
Bye.
All right. Go ahead and play.
All right. We'll talk to y'all in a little bit.
All right. Go ahead and help. Go ahead and play, guys. Go ahead.
My good truck.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and play.
No, I don't. You play
Okay. All right, shh. Go ahead. Gotta be quiet. Okay.
So we
All
come
right.
before you in a mind state of elevation, standing on a strong legacy of spiritual masters, healers, and powerful prayer warriors. We acknowledge our connection to source and our honored and elevated ancestors. We are humble servants of the community. May we be properly guided with every word that we speak. Ashe. Ashe. And we just want to remind everyone that our mission is to build and maintain a strong family and community support structure that fosters spiritual elevation, optimal living, healthy relationships, empowerment, and respect among the Black or African American community and the African community worldwide throughout the diaspora to inspire, uplift, and energize the spirit of the people to face life with enthusiasm, vigor, and gratitude. And so, you know, when we discuss like some family events, not family events, I mean media events, current, you know, occurrences that are happening on a social level, we always want to draw them to tie in to what we're about, you know, because we don't ever want to get into the thing of gossiping, or as Dame Dash would say, being chatty patties, you know, gossiping just for the sake of gossip, you know. But if we can learn something from it, if we can empower ourselves from, you know, the acknowledgement of certain experiences, if we can all grow from it, then let's do that, you know. And so we know today's talk is entitled Personal Responsibility. Jabari, why don't you touch upon what we mean when we're coming from that respect?
So personal responsibility, wanted to focus on that a little bit because a lot of times, you know, things go on, you see things in the media or things happen to different people, and a lot of times people, they like to laugh and joke about different problems or different things that people have done, and you know, they like to have a lot of fun with it and pick and, you know, make all kinds of jokes about different people until something happens to them. until they are in the limelight. And the way that life works is that's how it works. You know, everybody has their time in the sun. Everybody has their time, you know what I mean, for good, for bad. And every human being on this earth has done things that they would not like to share with the general public, you know. And I would guarantee that if somebody was to go in and go into your background, into many of our backgrounds, that they would find some stuff they'd be like, whoa, you know, like what is this? So, you know, that's not to say that people, I mean, that, like, as a community, that we shouldn't scrutinize people, that we shouldn't go at people, because people do some very horrible things, and people definitely need to be stepped to for those different things that they actually do, you know. But I'm just saying that, don't get so crazy that you start to skip the things that you need to look at internally, because you're looking at everybody else's stuff and laughing and playing about everybody else's things. Also, speaking to the fact of, on another level of personal responsibility, like, say for instance, in Baltimore, we just had the mayor reelected again, and Brandon Scott. And a lot of people was upset and mad about that. Man, he ain't doing nothing in the community. He ain't doing nothing in the community, or Sheila Dixon ain't do nothing for the people. When you start throwing that around about people not doing things in the community and all those different things, and then you skip over what you supposed to be doing in the community, because now you want to blame everybody else. Like, he ain't doing nothing in the community, but the question is, what are you doing in the community? Because you supposed to be actually a part of that process in general. So it's just dealing with many different levels. And we'll go into some other examples as we go on, but it's just dealing with the responsibility that you have as a human being, to try to be the best human being that you can possibly be. And in the midst of it, we talk about people, we critique things and all, and sometimes we even laugh about certain things, you know what I mean? But when you get obsessed with just going in on people and picking and making fun of people's shortcomings and all, then it begins to get a little crazy, and then you do have to look at yourself in the mirror with that. That's just
Yeah, I mean, it feeds the culture of finger pointing. We have like a finger pointing culture where a lot of people like to point away from themselves, forgetting, of course, that there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. And if you double joint it, your thumb is even pointing back at you. Some people got 4 fingers pointing back at themselves. But there's, it really, I think, fosters the environment of the blame game. The fact of the matter is, the world condition is the way it is because of the participants in the world that exists today. We all affect what happens, in the world, in the society, in our community, in one way or another. Sometimes more indirect than direct, and we understand that people in positions of power and influence are, especially those who are elected there, are expected to do a certain job, and so they definitely need to be held accountable, and it comes with the job being put under the microscope, but when it comes to like dealing with these decades of oppressive conditions that our people have been in, when does it become about not so much what the politicians and the people in office are doing and not doing, but what about the everyday citizens and what we do and don't do to contribute to the betterment of the society that we live in. And, so that's where, this personal responsibility and, it sounds like a talking point, the conservative Republican talking point, of personal responsibility. But, I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not on either side of, that particular drama and game. But I think that we do need to really look at our own personal responsibility and how we create reality that we experience every day, and that which we complain about. I feel that it's very disempowering to constantly talk about what they, quote unquote, are doing. Man, what you see what they doing now? You see what they saying now? You see what they doing? It's like people who always focusing on what they are doing are not really doing much themselves. And I'm talking about us as a collective. I'm not even necessarily talking about people individually. If we have a collective mindset of they doing this to us, that means, we're not taking advantage of our level of empowerment and the potential that we have to do for ourselves what we need to do for ourselves. And if we're not doing for ourselves, then other people will be doing things to us, quote unquote, because we may be sitting passively allowing these things to happen.
That's true. That's true. Definite.
Can I
Definite.
share
Definite.
a point?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm late to the party with the topic, but I know this is Diddy and the mayor's embrace has been a very big topic. And with when we talk about our officials, we forget that we vote them in. I think that we do not comprehend that they actually work for us, but we have also fallen into, and when I say we, I mean Black, white, the community in general have fallen into the haves and the have-nots, meaning that the people that have money and so have you can get favors, can get certain things pushed through. And I think that we have collectively bought into the idea that because we have been so oppressed and we are the least this, the lowest that we don't have power. And I think that part of the power is not only in voting, but it's also in making sure that we as a group hold the people that we hire to task. That when they come to our churches, when it is election time and smile in our faces and kiss the babies and stream live, that we are giving them a checklist of things that they should be pledging to make happen upon them getting in office. And we should be setting up councils where we're, after their first 90 days, you're supposed to meet with our council to assure that these things that we have on this list are being started, investigated, or implemented. These are, to me, tangible things that we can do. And we already have these groups in place. Our community has some of the most powerful and innovative think tanks. So rather than us saying, well, you're in this particular group or you're Islam or you're Christian or whatever, we need to have a council of our elders or our experts that are dedicated to assuring that the things that we want as a collective are done, like a code, no matter what your faith is or what you may follow or what church that you go to, as long as you are following the same moral and ethical code, which most of these organizations can agree to some of the most basic and honorable codes, we could really get something done.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I agree 100% that we do hire these people and we do have to hold them accountable. I think that we need to organize a lot better to hold them accountable, even before we vote these people in office. Like a lot of times what our people do, they don't research, we don't know what's on the bill, we don't know what's being presented, and then we just kind of go in there and like, yo, our ancestors voted, so we need to go ahead and we need to vote. But you need to go in there with a strategy, a specific strategy. And so, like a lot of times before these elections, we need to be holding political education classes and things of that nature. And I actually talked to Brother Davon Love about that, from Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle. They do a lot of good work in the community on politics and stuff, and leading up to a lot of these elections, we're going to start doing political education classes so people will know what it is. So when we go and we vote as a unit, as a block. And then we do organize, like you said, just like you said, just like, wait a minute, you said when you see, the problem is, even with Brandon and a lot of those people, like I don't have a high criticism against them, because I think the problem is that we got to go in and present him with the plan. Okay, this is what we want. This is what it is. We voted for, this is how it is. And then once over and over again that we go into him and it's not being produced, things are not happening, then we can say, hey, look, man, you ain't doing nothing for the people, man. We presented you with 6, 7 different proposals, and we put them in the hands that they supposed to be put in. We supported you. We did this, you know what I'm saying? We went out, and when you did this and you did that, we were there to do that, and we there, and you will not respond to us because we actually put the stuff on the table. Now, what's happening is people are complaining and fussing and cussing, and they ain't involved in the process. Even to the point of being, you know, the way that this thing is supposed to work, there are community associations.
We have plenty of them, right? Yeah,
plenty of them. But most people don't get on the community. See, just a community association can change. Like, you know, say you need a light in your area, like a traffic light in your area. Say you need to get the meters taken away from your area. Say that you just need, if there's trash that people have been dumping in your area. You know, there's, I mean, from any different thing that's going on, a lot of the community associations can take care of those things. When you get with your delegates and your, you know, and different elected officials in your area and get things taken care of, that's how it's supposed to work. But most people don't know how the process is supposed to work. So most people just, so say, for instance, people are getting killed in Baltimore City. They were like, man, people getting killed, and Mayor Brandon Scott, he over at the such, and it's like, and you know, you said before, like, yo, hold up, like, how am I getting blamed for, you know? For,
what I was going to say, but here's the thing: even if, say, every citizen in every neighborhood does not join, right? Let's just say, and it could be for a lot of different types of reasons. They could be underemployed, working swing shifts, or other things. But if every neighborhood, most zip codes have some group, everyone needs to meet together and have our own, like, our citizens, I don't know, council or something, where those people come together and we make sure that the needs for the city are being given to not only the council person, but the mayor, and so have you. I don't think that we have to keep saying everybody has to do, because that's unrealistic and it's still not really taking action. We're still blaming someone else for not getting certain things done. And what I want to add is that Marilyn Mosby, you know, put her neck out for people that the government and citizens were rallying behind, but because of whatever type of I don't know, personality issues, a lot of people really weren't standing for her. And this is why we don't have community stepping up, because we tear our people down to a certain degree. Now, I don't know the personal thing, but all I know is when no one else would have stood up for a Black man that doesn't have, quote unquote, the best record or whatever, that doesn't fit the stereotypical image to be held and cared for, was brutalized in police custody, and she put her neck and her career and probably her personal life and her personal safety on the line. That's a warrior. But because you don't like the way that she looked, or she didn't help out with a certain case, so I don't know, that's out. Really? So I wanted to throw that in to say, how do we answer then when we want people to go out there and put themselves out there for us, but when it comes around, we're kind of like, well, you know, she thinks she all that anyway, so, you know, all this weirdness. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
that's true.
Let's start by being, you know, trying to be a little more, I guess, clear with our language, because we can say we weren't supporting her, but yet there were some of us that were supporting her. Or, you know, all of us don't tear our people down, you know, so we should be careful when we say we just tear each other down. No, all of us don't tear each other down.
That's correct. Thank you.
You know, a few people, you know, gossip in the media, may say something negative. That don't constitute all of us, you know. And I think one of the ways that we can begin to redirect the mentality is to, stop chanting, the affirmation that we are not unified, or as, black folks can't come together. Black folks can't agree on anything. That's not true. Not for all of us. We do exercise unity as a people, as citizens of this country, and as a group of people, as a black race. We do exercise unity. Now, it might not be unity on every level that we want it or need it to be. But let's take one thing, for example, and it may seem like a real small thing, but it's still unity. Let's take the religious institutions, for example. We know that every Sunday there are a certain percentage of black people that go to church, or black people that go to the mosque, or whatever your religion is. So within that group of, let's say Christianity, we got people on the same page choosing to go to a particular place every Sunday. And then within certain churches, you got hundreds of them, but then, so that's collective. Think all over America, all the black folks that's unified on that schedule on Sunday. All right. In churches and mosques and other religious institutions. Right. And then we say, okay, all of them collecting money. Now, certain churches are sending their monies to the same banks or various banks or whatever. But see, we're unified based on ideology and beliefs, but it's still unity, you see. And so we have to be very careful when we state we can't unify or we're not unified. Now, on certain issues, we may need to develop unity. But see, those in politics understand the power of the religious institutions, for example, because who do they appeal to when it's time to get elected? They go and do their little song and dance at the different religious institutions, right? Because they know that's where a lot of people are, where you can speak to them, you see. So I'm just saying, in order to use the power of the spoken word, right? Hey, how many people, are on Friday and Saturday? It's entertainment time, going to the clubs, people are unified around things that they desire that are in common. You know what I'm saying? You got your crew come together, okay, when marijuana was illegal, how many times you got together with your boys, you're like, I got 5 on this. We coming together, we putting our money in the pot, and we all getting some weed. Or we all getting the alcohol. I'm really talking about my younger years, when I was a teenager, flashing back to that. But that was a degree of unity, but it's based on things that we agree on. All right. So if we can harness the things that we agree on and begin to funnel our time and energy into those things, then we can activate more power in the political realm. Now, me, myself, I know that I could probably speak for a certain representation of the population that, is like annoyed by politics and disheartened, is discouraged by politics, so coming up, with our revolutionary spirits as we were younger, voting, what we going to vote for? Voting. What are you talking about? Vote for who? The best devil. That's what we're gonna vote for, But that mentality, although it came from a basis of understanding the corruption in the society and how games is being played on us, especially dealing with the presidential election, it got in the way of me mastering the understanding of the politics from the local level and the things in between and what really politics, the struggle for power and resources was really all about. And if we understand, that politics is the struggle for the control of resources in the space that you occupy, then it makes sense to get involved to a degree with the politics. But like Jabari was saying, having a collective understanding and agreement on how we're going to move. Like that statement of guilting people into voting just because our ancestors died to vote is meaningless if we're just voting as separate individuals who all have different opinions, and so we're not channeling our energy in no one particular direction.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I think that it is honorable to think about the idea that we have ancestors that died for the right to be a part of the process of a country that they occupy now. So that's how I think it should be spoken of, and not like it's your duty. It's our quote unquote, it's our right, but it's our right not because we were slaves. It's our rights because of our humanity. It's our rights because we occupy this country now. And I think that we need to not just vote just because, but for the very things that you are saying, we need to be very critical, because our ancestors did quote unquote die for us to have the right to be a part of the process. So that means that we need to scrutinize and strategize even more effectively. And I think that it's a sad state that we are asked to choose in between a 77-year-old Caucasian and an 81-year-old Caucasian male that has no idea, in my opinion, about what the landscape of the world is currently, and doesn't have any room to conceptualize what the next 30 or 40 years could look like, because they are boomers. They are past this space. I said a lot, but I'm done. Thank you.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, definitely see your point. Dr. Asar, peace to the brother. He said we absolutely agree on a lot. Critique is not an indicator of disunity. It is needed for unity. Some have very good affirming messages for politicians, and others good critique of them, including Mosby. Definitely agree with the statement. The only thing is that I would say, Dr. Asar, is that some people critique all the time and do nothing. I know many people have all critique and no work. I don't care who get in there. Every person that gets in there, they critique. But then when you ask them, where's the platform at? Like, what are you doing? Where's your work at in the community? Where's your youth programs? Where's your building? What is it that you're doing? And what is it that you standing on? And it's all critique. It's all critique all the time. So that's what my problem is from those who just critique. My thing is critique, but at the end of the day, like, hey, I'm critiquing because I'm saying this is another method that we maybe need to try, or let's do this right here. In my critique, I'm going to the mayor, and I'm going to sit down with his council, and I'm going to present this right here with this critique. You know what I mean? Just be solution oriented in the critique. That's right. All I'm saying. There's just way too many people that's critiquing conspiracy theories and all those different things. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you said all of this. What's the answer? I see, brother. So I'll go ahead. You said something.
Yeah, I got a question. So when, all right, say, we do vote somebody in based on, what promises they made, and, we agree, okay, these person will be good for the community, good for the collective. But then after some time of being in office, they're clearly showing that they're not moving in the interest that is best for us, and that, they campaign and they made promises during their campaign, that they would carry out these things. it seems like our only thing that we can resort to is saying, all right, well, we just going to vote you out when it's time for re-election. But in between time, meantime, and in between time, they doing damage. And then it seems like this cycle just keeps repeating itself. Like, okay, and we vote them out, somebody else and get sucked into the machine. And then we say, all right, you ain't doing right by us. We gonna vote you out. It's like that's our only recourse, to just wait till election time comes and then vote them out. In the meantime, time is passed.
It's really not. No. There's different ways that you can call for certain hearings and things, but that's the difference. Like I think I shared a while back, there is things that are lawful and there are things that are legal. And a lot of times with the way that the system is set up, there's a lot of legal twists and turns for that. So if, say, you have a council person or a delegate that you feel is not doing what they should be doing, there's a process. Write a letter, send this, do a what is it? Do what is the thing that people sign? A
petition?
Yes. So they have all these different layers of things that are legally the process. So there are things that can be done, but the idea is to tire out the layman. So you can do like a petition, you can get a hearing done, like investigations, and so have you. But then after that, you have to have proof. There has to be substantial evidence and all these different things, you see? So that's why that happens, because we don't follow up in that. So that's why I was saying that we should have a certain type of a council from the different community leaders, where everyone has a standard list of what should be done, and we need to track and check in with these people after 90 days, 6 months, yearly check-ins, like stay on their butts, which I think a lot of people are doing already, but it's just not being advertised or shown.
Okay.
Yep. Definitely agreed. I mean,
yeah. So we definitely need think tanks, and we need to analyze and critique everybody that comes before us, you know, wanting to get elected and be paid to do a certain job for the community, for the city, and the surrounding counties, etc. That's definitely important. Now, but there's people that, like, when we like, for example, let's say criticize like a president. You know, I noticed that no matter who's in office, there's always going to be those opposing that run down a whole list of the things that they do that were wrong or didn't do that they supposed to do. And then on the other side, there's always those who can run down a list of all the good things that the president did, you know, that everyone is not really looking at or ignoring. And so everyone that gets into office, whether, you know, president or local, they have some people that they do things for and do things against. You know, and that's why I notice it's like a never-ending argument, because you can always run down, because, like, let's say when Obama was in office, you know, you had some black people that were saying he was good for the people, and some black people were saying that he was not good for the people. And so you got people that run down a whole list, all these great things that Obama did that black people benefit from. And then on the other side, you got a group of people that run down a whole list, all the things that he didn't do, or things that he did against the people. And it happens with every single politician, every single president that goes into office. And so you got black people that are split over Biden. You know, you got people that a group of people that are saying vote for Biden because he's better than the alternative, which is Trump. And then you got the black people who are now on Trump's side, you know, and they're tired of the Republican Party and the Conservative Party and all of that. And they want to they're tired of the Democrats. I say they're tired of traditional Democrats, and they want to go over on the Republican side and vote for Trump. And so, I mean, it just proves that what people say, black people are not monolithic, are not a monolithic people. So we're never all going to agree on the same things when it comes to this whole political thing, just like with religion, you know. But can it be a way where we can all function together to, you know, basically do the things that needed to be done in the society instead of always being split on issues and seeming to not really get anywhere?
Right. Like one of the things, and I think people know this by now, but black people for many years up until probably the 1960s, black people voted Republican. We were known as the Republican Party. There were a lot of black people that voted Republican for years, and it was on the strength of Lincoln as a Republican freed the slaves, and then a lot of the policies that were issued for the freedmen freedmen, because the freed women were not considered, but the freedmen, a lot of the black men, the reason they started voting was because they saw a benefit from voting like Republican. And then, of course, tides change. And then all of a sudden, the Democrats are, quote unquote, the black people's friends because they were given certain policies that appeared to benefit, and I say appear to benefit black people for a reason, because we do know that while some of the policies were helpful in terms of employment and training, education, one can also look at it and see that they were a detriment as well. So right now we're at another crossroads again, where it's been a certain amount of time and black people are starting to figure out that maybe this particular party is no longer useful for us. But rather than us jumping parties, we need to start considering creating our own. And if we're not going to do that, and we're going to be a part of the infrastructure, then again, like you are saying, regardless if you are a Democrat, regardless if you are a Republican, a Christian, like a Muslim, there should be certain things that as a black person you agree upon, that no matter where you find yourself, the advocacy is going to be for people that align with your heritage, I would think. Just like the Jewish people. Jewish people, some of them are Democrats, some of them are Republican. And they vote and they follow and support certain things based on their personal needs. But whenever it comes to anything that challenges their sovereignty as a people, they click in. And I think that's what we're mainly saying that needs to happen.
Well, to me, it's a lot of damn confusion. You know, we got, you know, the issues, and then we got, you know, this side of the issue, Democrat, this side of the issue, Republican, and then people year after year, it's just nonstop arguing over these issues, and we really be getting nowhere. It's just repeating the same stuff over and over again, cycles, and it seems like everybody's stuck on stupid to me, honestly. You know, just for me to be non-diplomatic for a second, you know, it's annoying, and it looked like it makes everybody look retarded, honestly. because we just keep doing the same thing every 4 years, every 2 years, whatever, how many years, it's time to vote. It's time to vote about this. This is the issue. That's the issue. When we're not really taking the power in our own hands to really control what's going on in our life. They got us hypnotized with the process. Well, if you want to change it, you got to get involved with the process. But then we can see that the process is rigged by the fools that control the money and the resources.
Right.
And they say, well, you got to play the political game to get control of these resources. And then you got to get the people from stop being sluggish. Go out to the polls. Now it's time to vote. And I'm not saying don't do that, but come on, man, we got to be more creative in life on this planet if we want to expedite progress. And we can't rely on the way things are always done. And to me, it's just simple and plain, but we keep doing it and stay, even those who are outside of it and just criticizing it, like myself. You know what I'm saying? So we got to find we got to create a different way. You got to create a new way. We can't be scared to find other things to do, other ways to approach these things. Because it's just
I mean, it's a setup. You know what I'm saying? And our job is to upset the setup. And again, to bring this all back around, that's why we talk about the temple, Mayat temple elevation, because we trying to elevate beyond the setup, beyond what they have laid out, beyond, you got to go vote. Remember, we always look deeper behind deeper behind the picture. You know what I mean? You know how you used to have those pictures where you just go, like we talked about it before, you just look at the picture, but they have those other, what those pictures called? Anagram pictures or something like that. You look behind the picture and you actually can see exactly what's going on. Yeah. But if you just look right directly at it, I forgot the name of those, but that's what we do. We open up our third eye while we elevate. And that's why even the things that we are doing with the Mayat temple elevation and some of the processes that we now setting up that deal with personal accountability, dealing with you getting yourself together, deal with you getting your family together, your relationship together, your then heading to the community and all those different things, because all those different processes that you do, personal accountability, they lead to community development, which leads to understanding. And when we have that understanding, then we study politics. We have people that study politics, and we know what decisions to make as a group, as a collective, as a strategy, and don't let them tell us what to do. Because right now they basically tell us what to do. If it's not them directly coming from their mouth, they get some black person, of course, to come out, and some hip-hop artist, some this person, that person, and they say somebody who will influence the people to push their agenda to whatever it is. So it's our job to elevate. It's our job to grow. It's our job to study. It's our job to be able to develop our third eye so that we can be able to know what's going on and then know how to get in the process. I don't agree, how he was about voting and all that other kind of stuff. However, with a strategy, with different strategies that we work, we know what we want. So most of the time, we don't even know what we want in the community. What do we want in the community? Say around where my business is on 25th Street or whatever. What do we need around in that area? What is it that we want? What is it that we, that we desire in that area? Like, but in order for us to understand it, we got to understand what's missing, like what's going on, what's some of the problems. Again, the community associations, a lot of them, you join those people, a lot of those have the direct answers. They have connections in with people. We got to get ourselves aligned so that we can be able to know what's going on. But again, it starts with us and bringing it back around spiritual. Like I said, it's us elevating. It's us having ourselves together so that we have ourselves together to get our third eye open. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's personal responsibility is that we got to stop letting them, as Ed Butler, the brother Ed Butler used to say, rent space in our head. We got to stop letting, like, whenever they want to, they rent space in our head and have us thinking whatever they want us to think. And we got to stop having them to allow them to do that to us. And we got to stand up and take personal responsibility, rebuild ourselves, and then we can challenge because we got the information and we got the knowledge to do so. Brother, I saw if you can come on in, bro. Come on in. You got those big paragraph texts again that you got that you actually adding in there.
Um, I would say support the leader. Was LBS Leaders of Beautiful Struggle?
Yeah, that's brother Davon Love and the brothers and sisters. They definitely doing a great work in the community when it comes to politics and educating the people. We actually got a interview that we did on Reality Speaks Media probably a couple months ago that we did with brother Davon Love, and he's done and doing some really great work in the community. Definitely. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna look at them.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
definitely.
look at them.
Yep.
So I do want to I want to bring up Diddy for a moment if we can
Diddy?
deviate to Diddy.
Did he?
Mhm.
No doubt, no doubt.
The
Hope-
question
hopefully-
used to be the initial question was, did he do it? Now the answer is yes, he did. You know, now like, you know me, I'm one like, just because stuff in the media about somebody, I'm like, I don't jump on it like, all right, you know, this person is you know, this or that, but I don't say that they're not either. I just observe and see, you know, what's going on, you know, because like, remember the brick lady, the one who faked getting hit on the side of the face? I believed her. I was like, damn,
I didn't.
I can't believe somebody. I'm gonna get to you, babe. You know, hold your ponies.
I'm just saying.
Um,
Yeah.
Oh, I know you too.
I believed her, and I was disgusted. Like somebody hit her in the face with a brick. Like who would hit her with a brick? What's wrong with brothers? That man, hold up, nah. And then Kendall was like, nah, something ain't right. Kendall was like, I don't believe her. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. I was, you know, I mean, I wasn't like, you know, arguing with Kendall about it. I was just like, I believe her, man. Unfortunately, you know, I believe her, but I hope it's not true. But then come to find out, she was lying.
And was a scammer at doing that.
It was a scammer. And then that sister who faked being kidnapped and says she saw a little baby walking on a highway with a pamper, but she was kidnapped and had this whole story and was missing for a few days and all that. I believed her. Kendall was like, nah, something ain't right. Something don't smell right. I was like, it don't really make sense. But no, she wouldn't make that story up. No, she wouldn't lie like that. Come to find out she was lying.
Mm. Yeah,
I
and that.
believed her.
I'm sorry.
So then I make it my business to not believe people, but to not disbelieve them either. Just observe. Now, when Cassie came out with her stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was horrible. But I was like, man, I ain't getting sucked up in that again. I ain't getting sucked up in somebody's story again. So I don't know if that stuff true or not. It sound hard. If it is, it's really messed up, but I don't know. So I wasn't like putting, you know, my emotions and heart into following the story. But Kendall, she was like, I believe her. She's like, she believed it. And I was like, I don't know. It sounds convincing, but I don't know. Then, you know, that video comes out. And I'm like, wow. I guess now, you know, all that stuff is true. Even if all of it ain't, who cares now? Because he's capable. You see what he's capable of doing. You see? And so it's very disgusting. It disgusted me. It was horrible to see that person, to see Diddy doing anybody doing that, but to see that guy doing what he did, it was disappointing. It was horrible. It was disgusting, and I was very angry about it. You know, then I was thinking, well, damn, this sister went through all that, and a lot of people didn't believe her. And so now I started imagining how she feel, you know, telling her story, but everybody like saying she up for a money grab, and then bam, here go. Not everybody wasn't saying the people who were saying that she was up for the money grab, you know. Imagine how, you know, someone would feel if they went through these things and more, than what we seen on the video, and people thinking they're lying and not believing them.
Mhm.
You know, and then looking at how many Diddy's are in the community, and I ain't talking and I ain't talking about Diddy's meaning people with money that's doing that. I'm just talking about men just treating women this way. You know, just the violence. You know, and we know violence happens both ways in the community, but for this particular, you know, story, we talking about women being abused, and I'm thinking about that story a little while back in Chicago where the dude is punching this lady in the face in the store, and then her son come in and shoot the dude, you know, rightfully so. You know, but like the mentality, the thinking in people's minds, to think that you own and possess someone to the degree where you have rights to put hands on them like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, that type of mentality. And we know, like Diddy, you know, listening to the stories and the things that he's, you know, done and alleged to have done, if he's done those things, that's a sick individual. And I don't think that's an average thing that happens a lot. Well, that happens all the time in the community, but I know it happens too much. Meaning
Yeah.
that degree of diabolicalness, if that's a word.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, here's my problem with the whole thing. You know, I mean, I saw it. It was crazy. It was horrible. But I looked at the timing of it. Like, this was in 2016. And if this was in 2016, why now drop the tape? I mean, it was horrible back then. And why, you know, did somebody hide? Why did they hide that until now and then put it out now? The timing of it. So, I mean, it's hard. It was horrible in 2016. It's horrible now. You know, whenever you would have put it out, it would have been horrible. But a lot of times, see, that's the thing too. What the enemy does, you know, and different people, you know what I'm saying? Like, they get stuff on everybody, politicians to rap stars, all these different people. They get all this information, all this different secrets or whatever you may say on people, and then they frame them and blackmail them with different things or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, and this is done all the time. You know, so I'm just looking at the timing. Why did they put that out? Then some people say because I mean, I don't know if it's true. They said because Diddy had a case against the liquor company, and you know, kind of told him to step down, and he didn't really step down. And then now they're like, okay, we got some stuff on you. You know what I mean? We're gonna shut you up. You know, we're gonna put it down. But I'm just saying, it's like, if you just look at from Diddy to many of the politicians, you know, like you said, even well, and that's different with Marilyn, you know, Marilyn Mosby. That's a whole different issue because she wasn't
that's
doing
two
crazy
different
stuff, like,
categories.
you know, but I'm just talking about, you know, just them just having things, you know what I'm saying, just different things. That was disgusting. That should have been put out a long time ago. But again, that was the system protecting him because he was doing their work. He was putting out the stuff that they wanted them to put out. You know, he was producing some of the people that they wanted them to put out, and they backed him, and they cover up stuff when they want to. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, when you don't do everything that they want you to do, then they come out against you. So I'm just looking at the top. I'm just like 2016.
I don't know. I don't even think it was no big grand conspiracy with this thing, more than it was something that time has come, you know, on this guy.
I think it's always a grand conspiracy. I think it's always a grand conspiracy when you're dealing with people. I mean, you know, for him to even get as big as he got, you know, like, there's always a conspiracy of them to say, hey, okay, this gonna be our nigga right here. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, like, you know what I mean, we're gonna use him. He's gonna be one of the people that we're gonna allow to, you know, put out some of the things that we want to go out in the community.
See, the thing is, I think the bigger question or concern should be, you know, the behaviors that people involve themselves in, so that they're in a vulnerable position for them to even get something on them in the first place. I mean, if he didn't have that within his character and wasn't functioning this way, they wouldn't have nothing to do. They would have to make up something if they wanted him that bad.
That's his whole swag. I mean, that's how he became who he was. I mean, promoting sexuality. You know what I mean, like, you know, hardcore sexuality. Promoting, you know, I mean, a lot of times, you know, the drug industry, you know, promoting many of the things that they wanted us, the ills that we have in our community. That was his claim to fame, you know.
But what I'm talking about is these people who they sorry, babe, let me just say this one quick. These people who they quote unquote have stuff on, if they wasn't participating in such foul behavior, they wouldn't have nothing on them. And I'm not saying you got to be an angel, but you definitely shouldn't be raping and abusing people. You know, so if you don't got that in your, you know, on your jacket, then they have to get you some other type of way. So it's like it's hard to really look at it. Almost it's like I can see how people get upset and triggered when, you know, when something of this degree of extremity of that type of horrible behavior, then it's like, oh, they wanted to set them up. It kind of like not overshadows, but undermines the foulness of his behavior, and you know, that type of societal filth that often goes on with these actors and entertainers and so forth.
Okay. Can I share something?
Well, since you asked, no. So what I wanted to continue to say, I'm just playing.
Well, since I am a woman and I can speak from another vantage point, what I'm going to say is that seeing that image was horrifying. It was very triggering to me, and I know it was triggering to a lot of people, both male and female, right? I think that the reason why it was put out finally was because there's a certain amount of money and covering that he has. So, Jabari, I do agree to a certain point that it came out at a certain time for a certain type of a purpose. Now, whether it was his bosses or who over top of him or who has given him certain coverings or help, they've taken their hands off of him, the liquor company, whatever. To me, that's really not even important. What is more glaring is that there is a system in place beyond Diddy that allows these things to happen. It's not just Diddy. It's not just Epstein. Exactly. So there's a whole system in place where women and men are being sexually and mentally and emotionally exploited for a small group of people's wealth. And that's, to me, a huge, ugly issue that did not begin with hip hop. It began when they made the first silent movie that made some money. Trafficking is not something that's brand new. This was happening during the Motown era. This was happening in the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, in the music industry, in television, and in film. So unfortunately, Cassie was put into a contract where she was supposed to make a certain amount of songs or whatever. And whether she was young and tricked into it, whether some people may think that she may have agreed to certain aspects of what that arrangement was, no matter how you look at it, no one deserves to be abused. If someone says, I don't want to do this anymore, they should be able to walk away and not be harmed or worse. So when people start talking about, oh, well, she knew what she was signing up for, did or didn't. Also, too, the reason why these things happen is because there's people benefiting from these things. Women and men are trafficked daily on a smaller scale and on a larger scale. Diddy has not made any really big artists since Biggie. It's a lot of different things that we have allowed to happen again, taking personal type of responsibility again. We go back to us. We may joke and say, well, people do certain things to get ahead. We always say that, but we still support the artists, the music, and the vibe. So it's not just Diddy, it's not just Cassie, it's not just Arista, it's not just Bad Boy. It's a whole system that some type of way all of us have bought into. And it's disgusting.
That is
I mean,
definitely disgusting.
you say all of us, but all of us haven't
Yeah.
bought into it.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Well, when I say bought into it, I'm not saying that we're emulating it, but if people are buying the albums and people are buying the alcohol, you understand what I'm saying? If we don't really know, and also too, Diddy's father was a big time drug dealer or like he was big in Harlem. So it's a whole nother, and he was mentored by some big Harlem players that he has mentioned. So this is far more bigger than just him. He could have been handpicked to facilitate a whole system, and he was raised underneath that. Who's to say? You understand what I'm saying? He possibly was raised like that, and he was put in a certain spot. He can get us girls, clean our money, X, Y, and Z. He's already groomed to know how to run people. It's so many moving parts to this that it's beyond Diddy.
You know, what I really hate. I honestly hate when this society, presents our people, like, even with Diddy, as if they are the worst people that ever did it in history. What Diddy did was horrible, and he should be punished for it. He should be whatever consequences he got to pay. He need to pay. From Diddy to R. Kelly and all, they will treat our people as if in history that these are the worst people that ever existed. Whoever did that, or not even just them, but black people. Just look at them, because when they do is they'll take a Diddy and almost kind of generalize us as a people. You know what I'm saying? They'll take R. Kelly. Of course, that's part of their campaign from the beginning. It's to demonize us. That's always been the campaign. Even from the time that they, enslaved us and they had we did the middle passage and all. These people are not, they are not human. They have no human qualities and different things. So everything they've been doing all through the years have been to dehumanize us in general. I hate what you get ready to say, but they are the number one people, that harmed our people. The number one abusers, the number one sex traffickers.
Why do we
everything
think what they think of us?
Hold up. That's what I'm about to say. I don't give a damn what white people.
It ain't about what they think, what they think about us. It's about what they create the whole world to think about us. See, it ain't just about them. Hispanics. It's about other black people
How
who
we
hate
going
because they run the media. They run the media, and the media controls the minds, the mindsets of the people. And so black people hate black people just as much as white people because we follow behind them because they own the media. That's what I'm talking about. It's bigger than just white people.
Some of us follow behind them. I don't follow behind them. That's what I'm saying. We got let's be careful on how we say we follow behind them. We all don't follow behind them. I have discernment. Yeah, I would say most of us do, but I don't care. See, we've been saying this for decades of what white people do to us in the media, and it still hasn't changed.
It's because we ain't changed yet.
I think
we haven't. So my concern, my concern is, what is the character level of our people? What is the consciousness level, behavior, and character of our people? Are we functioning in a way that is healthy for our progress and for our building and our betterment? That's more of a concern. Not the way, I'm concerned about, how we're being portrayed. But then when we look at the behavior level, like the materialism and the lust after, these, quote unquote things that are definitely put before us in the media that we should strive for, what the way we define success, the things that we go after in life. All of these things come about because we have so many gaps and holes in our culture as a collective, meaning our cultural perspective and our way of life and what we deem to be important. And yes, that stuff is influenced by the media, and they do have certain portrayals that there are participants from our people being these caricatures. They would have to still do whiteface if we had a standard as a collective not to portray ourselves or allow ourselves to be portrayed or to be used to be portrayed, no matter what type of money. There's so many black people split, just even on looking at the black comedians. Some would say they would never wear a dress. Some would say, hey, it's comedy, I'll wear a dress, I don't care.
Right.
So there's some that have a certain character for money. They say, give me enough money, I'll do it. They will put a dress on. You see? So we participate, some of us participate in these images being put forth, or then there's some of us who participate in the behavior of what Diddy did in order to allow ourselves to be used this way. They wouldn't be able to portray R. Kelly the way that they did if he didn't have certain behaviors and things. Regardless of, we already know that, what they're going to do in the media. They're always going to try to use the media to bring us down, even if they got to make up lies and stuff. I think we need to really be concerned about our collective behavior and our character development so that we can stop falling into these traps decade after decade, generation after generation.
Yeah, I just don't want us to fall into, a thing where, we look at the we look at the problems that we have in our community, but I want us to be able to trace them back. I don't want us to ever forget the hidden hand that's actually not only just portraying the images, but the hidden hand that's actually, like working to keep us on low frequency and low vibration at all times. So, we blame it on the system and what they do, but it's our problem, and that's back to personal responsibility. And I'm there with that. But what I'm saying is, but don't ever forget that an enemy has done this. You know what I'm saying? That an enemy has done many of the things, divisive things, because just think, us being here in America, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have a lot of the problems and all like we have here, like that we're experiencing right now. This is us coming out of, over 400 years of oppression, and us following behind them, us following behind their system and their different things. So I'm just saying, just don't forget the hidden hand that's working behind the scenes, misdirection, and say, oh, look at this, haha, look at him, hey, look at him, and look at her, and look at her, and with R. Kelly and all these people, Pete, that this stuff is this stuff is way out of control. It's way bigger than Diddy. It's way bigger than R. Kelly. It's people everywhere that participate in this stuff that they ain't put out because those people are working for them. It's all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on right now in the community.
Well, what I just wanted to share is that I agree with that. We are at a time now where we have more options than we've ever had to have our own platforms. We don't have to listen to Sexy Red. No matter if they keep putting it out and we don't listen to it, it's not going to sell. They tell when young boys come, young women and young men come to sign, they tell them what is hot. They tell them what is hot, but you're a person of color in your community creating rhymes or music that you feel passionate about that may not talk about killing or maiming. They talked about love and empowerment, but they're not playing it. There are now younger children like Gen Z that are creating music and putting it on streaming platforms. They are no longer looking for those big deals anymore. So if we're saying this, where we don't like the way the media shows us, if we're saying that we don't like the music that this particular artist is putting out, then we have to make sure that we are are showcasing people that are making music, that we are watching programming such as this, such as other shows that talk about real issues. We because we know that there is a hidden hand, because we know there are certain things that were created to keep us in a certain box, since we know that we were trafficked from Africa, since we know that many of us were already here and the land was stolen from us, since we already know, then we need to continue creating and supporting what we can have for ourselves. We need to me, more so be mindful of exactly what you're saying. But we have access to creating our own networks and stuff. We can do streaming services now, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
You
and I
know,
agree. It's a both and. It's both sides of the thing. Meaning always being aware of the quote unquote hidden hand, but let's not overemphasize the power that they have to influence us more than the power we have if we have self-determination to influence ourselves. We have to shake it off. We have to wake up and shake it off. We look at a sports analogy, we have to put up our defense, but we also have to have our offense too. And it's the offense, you can score points on both sides of the ball when you're talking about football, but the objective is when you're on the defense is to get the ball back in your possession so that you can make progress up the field to score, so that you can be the aggressor. And so that's when it comes to us creating our reality and being proactively self-sufficient and self-reliant on creating, the type of media and controlling our existence together for ourselves and by ourselves, because if we keep so what I'm mainly like putting up a defense about is constantly, because we always on the defense or on the reactive side of having to block someone throwing a punch at us or react after we get punched in the face. When we're going to collectively as a collective be on the attack, be on the offense, meaning let's aggressively push our agenda in this world. We look at the landscape of what has been made available to us. Okay, you want to be an entertainment. Now I'm going to get the bag through entertainment. Well, what type of entertainment you going to do? Well, I'm going to do what people have a taste for now. So they got the taste for the ratchetness, the ignorance, So I'm gonna go on and create a character that is going to emulate that, because that's the appetite that the people have. Forgetting that the appetite, like you saying, Jabari, that appetite has been created through the media, through persistency, through consistency, always putting things before us, the ratchetness, the low life, ideas through entertainment, which creates the appetite. And so now we respond to an appetite that has been created. So
but they're not like us.
Right. So, but when do we create the character? When do we have a strong stance in creating the character to reflect what it is that we want to grow in people?
Again, that strong stance that you talking about, and that's to bring it all back around full circle. Honestly, is personal responsibility, and and our ability and what we need to do to elevate as a people. And as we start to take care of ourselves and elevate ourselves, that's us taking a stance, because that's us saying, you're not controlling me. You're not controlling what I'm putting in my body. You're not controlling my spending habits. You're not controlling what I think, what I mean, and my perception of what I'm supposed to think. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how we fight back. We fight back by getting organized, by becoming, trying to be the best human beings that we can possibly be. Like you said, because if you wasn't doing some of the stuff, they wouldn't have the stuff on you, But what they try to get you to do, participate in stuff, participate in all of this, that, and whatever. And if you undisciplined, you will. Like I said, none of us are perfect. All of us got something, a history or something that you can look into and find something that, if they looked into it, that we wouldn't be happy for them to share out in the public, right? But what I'm saying is we strive to be the gods that we had that we created to be. We strive to be the best human beings that we created to be. That's how we fight back. That's that's the number one way that we fight back. So as we doing these critiques and all, that's what I'm saying. Whenever we doing critiques, we already looking at the solution. You know what I mean? Oh, what do we do? You know, they can, you know, they controlling our people's mind. Once we elevate and become a beacon of light, then we show other people like, yo, this is how you escape from their matrix. This is how you get out of that, you know, get out of that world and exist in this world with having self-control and some self-value and some self-worth and all. So that's how we fight back. That's all I'm saying is that I never want to forget, you know, I never want to forget it. Who, you know what I mean? Like there are specific attempts to keep us on very low frequency. And our attempt must be to know that. I mean, we must know that, and then we must organize around that and say, we need to be on high frequency, and we got to get on high frequency to fight this beast, because that's what they want us to be, on our lower level at all times. But we rise and we elevate, and that's all I want to say. So,
absolutely.
We can but I do have to as my little man said at the beginning of this broadcast, me and my little man got some grass to cut out here, you know, and you know, some things to prepare out here, you know, so you know, if y'all want to begin to wrap up, you know.
I'm good with it. I'm tired.
Yeah, I think that was a good note to leave off.
Yeah.
Okay. All okay. Right. Cool. Well, we appreciate everybody. We hope that everybody has a wonderful and great week. I will be here. Look, we got brother Nuri Muhammad coming. I wish we would have put the stuff in. We'll put up later. We got Nuri Muhammad coming. We want people to come out in droves for that event. How to Love a Black Woman, How to Love a Black Man. That's coming up. We do have this week. We'll have Dr. Asar on. We're gonna be talking about relationships. We have an event coming up with Dr. Asar. We have the real barbershop conversation coming up on this Wednesday. So we're gonna be active. We have been, you know, out for a couple of weeks, you know what I mean, on most of the shows, but we back with the you know, with the information. And man, we look forward to just sharing with y'all and getting this information out. I think this was a good build today. I think this was a great build today. And you know, peace to my brother and sister, brother Sembi and sister Kenda. Thank y'all for, you know, and you know, enlightening the world today with your knowledge and information. And for the people, we love y'all. Always. And we will see you this week. Peace.
All right, peace, blessings.